Welcome to TiECon Live. I'm Kamal Aluwalia. It's a pleasure to have Navin Chaddha with us in our studios this morning. Navin is Managing Director for Mayfield, a serial entrepreneur, and one of his companies, VXtreme, is what became Windows Media Player that all of us use. As I said, over 20 investments over the last 10 years in US and India. 9 have gone public, 6 have been acquired. You are rated amongst the top 100 deal makers in 2007 and the top 2 under 40 years old. Gold medalist from IIT Delhi, masters from Stanford. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure always to be here at TiECon. And thanks for embarrassing me and putting me on the spot, Kamal.
Well, that was the least we could do. So, Navin, clearly you've been busy.
Absolutely.
So what drives you?
I think in our business, what drives me is curiosity and learning. And it's a passion to work with entrepreneurs to create companies that are going to last beyond us and change the way people work, live, and play.
Excellent. So, why Mayfield and why you in Mayfield? Why should an entrepreneur be really looking to get money from Mayfield?
So I need to do a sales pitch now?
Absolutely.
Okay. So again, I'm being put on the spot. So I think Mayfield, the way to look at it is we are one of the oldest venture capital firms in the business. We were started in 1969, and it has lasted beyond one individual. So as we want to do build-to-last companies, Mayfield is a build-to-last venture capital firm. We're on to our third generation of leadership, and it's a great place for young VCs like me to be there, to be getting mentored with the likes of Kevin Fong, one of our senior partners, and Yogan Dalal, who've been in the business for 20 plus years. Today, we are global investors. We've invested over our life in 475 companies, of which 100 plus have gone public, 150 have been acquired. And finally, I would say is, today, our model has changed from looking not only just at early stage investments, but also growth stage investments. And as far as the entrepreneurs are concerned, I think people know what the Mayfield philosophy is, but I would reiterate it here. First of all, we look ourselves as the entrepreneur's partner. They are the lead actor. If we ever get an award, hopefully not, it is as a supporting actor. So we're really on their team. It's not us versus them. We believe we're as dependable as a navigation system. So when the entrepreneur is going wrong, that's where we come in and say, hey, from our long history and perspective, this is what you should be doing. We're extremely passionate about our companies, extremely curious, and we're committed and long-term investors. And then together, as an individual, plus leveraging our partnership together, we help entrepreneurs, many of whom have been of Indian descent, with helping them with customers and partners, executive recruiting, board membership, CEO coaching, and marketing and sales strategy. And finally, the world being global today, we do bring a global perspective.
Excellent. So, you have a good perspective both as an entrepreneur and now long-standing VC, plus a global view because you've been playing on a global level. How has venture business changed?
I think there are a couple of changes that have happened that I can comment on over the last 10 years. First of all, I think venture capital is no longer a cottage industry. The business has been institutionalized. The second thing I would say is it's no longer restricted to Silicon Valley and Boston. Innovation and growth is just not happening in the US, it's happening globally, especially in countries like China and India. And then thirdly, I would say previously as a venture capital firm, we used to believe in you need to have time and sector diversity. That is, you invest across a 3 to 4 year period. You invest in consumer, enterprise, communications, and semiconductors. But today we believe you need geographical diversity, and hence India, China, Europe. But also you need stage diversity. That is, for people like us, we have to look at both early and growth stage investments. And our belief is, over the last 20 years, the returns have been concentrated in the business. There are around 50 firms out of 1,000. And moving forward, you will see more and more of that happening, which has happened in other financial services industries.
So let's pick on one of the sectors that you said was a traditional one. Is enterprise software still an area to invest?
Absolutely. I would say it goes beyond enterprise software. I think investing in enterprise technologies is a great area to be. And just for some data from last year, if you look at all of the tech IPOs last year, 38% were in the enterprise sector. Over 50% of the acquisitions were in the enterprise sector. I think it's a great area to invest. There's still white space opportunities if you solve the right problems to create independent companies. But you have to pick as an entrepreneur the right categories to focus on. And as a VC, you need to be even more selective in picking the entrepreneurs and the teams who can go build those kinds of companies.
So let's talk about, you've been investing in India and China. So what is Mayfield's strategy and view of those markets?
I think we're extremely bullish on both China and India. The model we have used in China is very similar to what we have done in the US. We have looked at China from a technology lens and a lens of early stage investing. And we partnered with a local team in China called GSR Ventures, and we have created 2 venture funds with them. The first fund was $80 million, and the second fund, which we just announced earlier this year, is a $200 million fund. If you look at China, it's the fastest growing semiconductor market, the largest number of mobile users, and great internet penetration. So our lens there is semiconductors, internet, and mobile. And the way to do it is partner with a local team with presence on the ground and bring them the investment experience from the US we have had over 37 years.
So Navin, the other controversial topic has been Web 2.0. In your opinion, is that another bubble?
I think that's a difficult question. I think from our perspective, you have to be very selective in picking the companies. And what I would say is, Web 1.0 was not about capital efficiency. A lot of money was spent in building companies. What's different today is internet is mainstream. There's high degree of broadband penetration, at least in North America. If I give you some statistics, internet penetration or consumption is 21% of all media, but only 6.4% is being spent on advertising on the internet. There's still more than a 3x. If nothing grows with the internet is growing on consumption, as traditional media is dying with television and print, you can do 3 times more advertising on the internet and be more effective. I would say user-generated content, self-expression, and social networking is here to stay. And what has changed from Web 1.0 to Web 2.0 is no longer are people with branded sites getting traction, but also a huge long tail, which provide best-of-breed services. And then finally, whatever happened on the internet, on PCs, is getting onto the mobile. And I would say especially for the teens who have grown up in the internet environment, for them, it's like Coke and Pepsi. It's addictive. So if they've grown up on this, and as they go to work, they'll carry these technologies with them.
So another interesting keynote that we had yesterday was about bottom of the pyramid. Any thoughts on what Mayfield and you in particular may be looking at?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting topic. So let me give you a concrete example, right, of India. When we go from US to India, right, like we think everything will be the same, or the same way with US and China. Yes, India and China today have a huge middle class where people can spend money. But we need to remember on a purchasing power parity just between US and India, the dollar to rupee conversion, even it's 40, but the purchasing power parity equivalent is 5:1. So you need to look at the affordability index. So for us as VCs and entrepreneurs around here, we need to keep in mind, just as an example, the average revenue per user for a wireless carrier in the US is $50 per month. In India, it's like $8 to $10. Great opportunity to create a local telecom equipment company. I invested in one of them called Tejas Networks. If I'm a wireless carrier in India making $8 to $10 per user per month, how can I buy equipment from the same vendors who sell in the US and Europe to carriers who are making $50 a month? So you have to use innovation, using technology and new business models to solve the needs of these so-called the unwashed masses, the next 2 billion people. The world has 6 billion people. Maybe the needs of 400 to 500 million people are solved. But to get to the next level, you need disruptive technologies, disruptive business models, and that's what it's going to take to create the next generation of companies.
Any final words for entrepreneurs?
I would say think big, think global, follow your dreams, don't be afraid of taking risk, because if you don't fail, it's like never trying.
Wonderful. Thanks a lot for joining us today, Navin.
It's a pleasure being with you. Thanks a lot.
Take care.